Hello, my name is Davina, and hello to all of you, bold, beautiful, brilliant, and evolving souls. Today, I'm going to talk about how narcissists never see their child as being enough. And I think one of the main reasons that narcissists cannot see their child as enough, well, of course, they're projecting their own shame onto the child. And also because in their mind, everything is performance based. So it's about doing. It's not just about being. It's not about delighting in the child's kind of beingness, just their being, their essence. It's about, you know, what are they doing? And, what are they accomplishing? And are they meeting their milestones, or are they getting to this point, or have they learned their ABCs yet, or whatever it is? It's always um, push, 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 and moving the goalposts. The narcissist will move the goalposts. So um, no matter what you accomplish, they will want they will like make a snide comment, or they will insult you or criticize you that you haven't accomplished that one more thing. So you never feel like you get there. You never feel like you have arrived. You never feel like you're complete, whole, and you never feel like you're enough, like you're just enough in being, not in doing. And so we get the feeling like we can never feel safe. And of course, we live in a constant state of shame and terror where we have to please our narcissistic parent, where all of our, so much of our energy is caught up in trying to be what they want us to be, and try to do that extra thing. And we're always working so hard to try to do that one thing or be that whatever they want to be, so that we finally feel enough, and we finally feel loved, and we finally feel accepted. Except when you have a narcissistic parent, of course, you don't get there ever, because no matter what you do, you will never win their love and acceptance, because they can't love you, and they don't want to accept you. They want to keep you on your toes. They want to keep you destabilized. And by destabilizing you through all their abuse and shaming, then of course you're off your center. You're not grounded in yourself. And this is how they're able to control you. It's much easier to control a person who is not just feeling safe and feeling embodied, right? So, yeah, I was just observing this morning how I just got really caught up in this flashback, and it's so compelling. It's so convincing that, I'm not there yet, and I just need to do one more thing, and then I'll be safe, and then I can relax, and then I'll be successful, and then and it's so painful actually, and it's so tricky because I think it's true. I really believe in that, and even as I wrote down these phrases, they seemed sort of, some of them felt true to me. So here are some of the lies that shame has told us, that our parents have told us, and that record player, just that subconscious record player, keeps playing in our head. Um, and it's subtle, and it says you can't relax yet. You cannot rest. You're not safe yet. You're not there yet. You still have to blah blah blah. But you got to figure out how to blah blah blah. You aren't enough yet. When I have blah blah blah, then I'll be able to relax. Then I'll be happy. When I accomplish blah blah blah, then I'll be a success. When I'm completely healed, then I'll be enough. Then everything will be okay. When I get one more blah, 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 then it will be enough. And you might have heard phrases like, but you haven't done blah, blah, blah yet, you know? But how are you going to blah, blah, blah? How come you're not blah, blah, blah yet? Haven't you blah, 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 right? It's all of this shame and fear that tells us that, you know, that success or that enoughness or is just another step. It's just another, we're not quite there yet. It's one more step or three more steps, or maybe we're 3 months away from that, or maybe it's when we earn X amount of dollars. And then when we get to X amount of dollars, we think, oh no, that's not enough. I need to be making this amount of money. So, um, you know, it's a really a painful, feeling to have. And narcissistic parents also don't trust in their child's development. They don't trust in their child's natural learning and exploring and their, how they progress and grow. So that's another reason why narcissistic parents are always, pushing, pushing, pushing. And I can think of a couple of examples. One example comes to mind is a narcissistic grandmother that I saw with interacting with like she was, I think, about 11 months old, 10 or 11 months old. And she was just starting to like walk along, by holding the couch, she would hold the couch and kind of walk along. And the grandmother walks in, maybe hasn't seen the child in, a few months or something, and immediately starts like holding her hands and like, can you walk, walk, walk? Let's walk, walk, walk. You got to be walking. I shouldn't say that, but she immediately, like, she didn't even greet the child or like hello or just like, just be with the child. She immediately was pushing that child to be walking. And I think she ended up spending the day with her. And I can imagine she spent a lot of the day just trying to force her child to walk. Like, why? Like, what is the rush? Like, what? This is no competition here. She will walk, right? And she will do it in her own time. And children do things in their own way, in their own time, at their own pace. Narcissists don't trust this. They don't trust it because of their own shame, because they feel ashamed, because they feel that they haven't done enough or aren't enough and need to be accomplishing things to, need that validation and need this to be enough. So they project that onto their child. And the child feels it, absolutely. The child is going to feel that pressure. Another example is what my dad said to me. I remember I moved to Japan. I moved to like a foreign country, right? And I remember he would call me, and every time he called me, he would say, "But have you traveled around Japan yet?" And I fell into it at the time because I still didn't know. Like I was still just, unknowingly feeling ashamed. And I would defend myself and say, but, I'm working here. I'm, trying to live a life here. I'm not, traveling. I'm not here to travel. Um, but every time it was the same phone call. And that's another thing that narcissists do. They repeat because they have, they're not operating at a healthy, emotionally mature level. So, um, yeah, and he would do this about my career as well, like I taught for 15 years. And then he would say, I didn't teach in public schools, but he would say, well, why don't you become a teacher? Why haven't you become a teacher? And at the time, I defended myself because the shame was saying I was believing that I wasn't enough, because I hadn't become, this public school teacher or whatever that he imagined that I should be. And it was painful. And if I had that chance to go back to that conversation, I would have told him to go, go to hell. Um, and when I said it, I was a nanny, and he would make a snide comment like, well, I hope that makes you happy, kind of like it was always these kind of things. And covert narcissists can be very, um, subtle about the way that they shame a child. So, but yeah, try just notice with awareness when you kind of have these thoughts in the back of your head. And I think about, how I've been with children or how a healthy caregiver would be with a child. And that is just, yeah, just being, where they have no concept of time and they're just doing what they do. They have no shoulds, they have no shame. They're just exploring and learning and, oh, I can do this. And oh, what's this over here? And like, there's no, it's the parents that, put that shame on that child by, forcing them or pressuring them or, just directly telling them that they're not enough, that they have to be accomplishing something or performing in a certain way in order to get that love or attention or whatever it is, you know. Healthy parents just delight in their child as they are. It's a very different energy. So anyway, I hope you're doing well, and I'm always wishing you many blessings on your journey. Um, please share this video if you think it might help somebody else um, on your social media, and I always appreciate hearing your comments below. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening.